Hello there, it's Suzy Walker here from Psychologies Magazine, just to introduce the wonderful Wim Hof, who I had the pleasure of interviewing this month for Psychologies Magazine. Wim Hof, he has just brought out a new book called The Wim Hof Method, Activate Your Full Human Potential. He is talking about how deep breathing and his cold showers and activating the body and mind together through cold therapy can not only boost your mental health but also your immune system. I've been doing it myself for about 3 months during lockdown, and my God, it's had a massive impact on the way I feel and the way I'm thinking. Almost I need to kind of grab hold of myself because I'm so full of ideas. I can't recommend his book enough. It's a really fantastic read. The interview was slightly hilarious because it started off with his dog farting but he is absolutely himself and a very interesting and intriguing man, and his research methods have now been looked at by over 8 universities, so there's a lot of scientific backing behind his methods. I hope you enjoy the interview. Lots of love.
I've been doing your method for about 2 months now with my boyfriend, who's the same age as you, and we've been doing it together. We've been breathing, we've been doing the cold showers. I must admit I can only manage about 30 seconds. I haven't quite got to the minute stage, and I've just been reading your book, so I'm going to be working on making it a little bit more longer, I think. But thank you for writing your book. Thank you for doing this brilliant work.
Thank you for receiving it, and I'm delighted to go into the magazine.
Yeah.
And about the psychology.
Yeah.
That's very interesting and intriguing. So I'm happy with this.
I just want to talk to you first about our magazine is very much about mental health, and I've been watching so many different documentaries on Goop and with the Yes Men and all of those things. How do you think your methods specifically help people with their mental health?
My last study. Wait a minute. I take this dog outside. Yeah.
Okay.
Come here. She was farting.
What kind of dog do you have? What kind of dog do you have?
Beautiful cross breed, but she looks like a golden retriever, but then red.
Yeah.
She always accompanies me. I gotta open up the window because the fart is still hanging around. Whoa. Yeah. You go. Just there. That's it.
How old is she? How old is she?
11.
Okay, yeah. We all start farting a lot more when we're older, Wim. It's part of the thing.
Yeah. Yes. that is kind of good. But then open up a window.
Yeah, totally. So, mental health. How can we help our readers support their mental health with your methods?
I see a lot of psychologists and a lot of psychiatrists already take this method because it is very effective to change the chemistry inside, and chemistry that is jeopardized in the brain, causing hormonal imbalance. It needs a reset. People get in panic, people get depressed, into fear, because the chemistry is not right. And when the chemistry is not right, you lose the sense of control within. And that makes you fearful. And that makes you full of anxiety. It's logic. It's all logic. And the stress, which is nowadays getting to us in many ways, like mental stress, bacterial stress, viral stress, emotional stress, in the end jeopardizes the hormonal balance in our brain by causing through inflammation, through oxidative stress, a imbalance in the end in the hormones. That means the dopamine, mostly the dopamine and the serotonin. And now is the question, are we able to rebalance that? Yes, we are. If we do these breathing techniques, it resets the chemistry inside. It changes thoroughly the chemistry inside the body, and that means the blood flow, which is reaching out to the brain, of course. And that then creates a layer of a reset in the brain, a layer of right chemistry. You know, the body, the brain wants to find balance, but it needs the right chemistry, the right blood flow, and that we are able to produce through these breathing techniques. This is after the feedback I hear of multiple psychologists and psychiatrists who are in the field with their patients. They say that why is this method not yet thoroughly researched? Because it works better than cognitive therapy. It goes into the depth of the brain, where we, with our thoughts, we are only able to go as far inside of the brain. But we need to bring back the blood flow in the deeper part of the brain. Are we capable to do that? Through these breathing techniques, we are very able to do that. And people experience directly, instantly, after doing these breathing techniques, a relief from anxiety, a relief of fear and panic. And that is mental health. Mental health is to be able to healthy function with a healthy brain, a clear brain. If you are able to reset that inside yourself, then you get a sense of control that gives confidence. That is all mental health. And this technique, these breathing techniques and the cold shower, they should get into general mental health care, into regular health care and mental health care. This is what the professors say after doing brain scans. They saw me tapping into the brain further than they thought it's possible or is stated in the books of psychiatry. We were not able to get into those areas that regulates the pain, that regulates our mood. We were not able to get in our emotion. But now we are able to get there, and that is into the brainstem directly, robustly. And this is done through these breathing techniques. So, and from there, Suzy, from there, after doing the breathing techniques, you get confidence. Then you have a tool. Once you get a tool, then you set neurologically with your conscious will and neurological pathways to those areas. And then so you get control all over just by your mind.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think the piece there about confidence, isn't it? I think so for when people are depressed or they have anxiety, I think there's a sense of you lose control. You feel like you're not in control. You feel you're not empowered. I love the quote you said in the book about you talk about bringing people back to their inner power. And I think this is what, to me, this is what you're talking about. So let's just say someone's coming to your work for the first time. I know you're everywhere and everywhere, but let's say someone's hearing this for the first time and they've got anxiety issues or panic attacks, or they're feeling depressed. Where should they start? So they've got no confidence. They're feeling low. They're feeling terrible. Where gently, how do they start?
The way to start is simply to accept or see or believe through science. I can say we are built to be able, all of us, innately capacitated to fend off stress in any way by our beautiful mind. If that is not so, I will equip you with the tools within an hour. Do you have the patience to follow up and just to try out? Because feeling is understanding, real understanding. I can say things, but that is only the packaging material. The content is will open up to you by feeling, if you just follow the protocols of very simplified yet very effective techniques that enable you to embrace your capacitation born with, to fend off stress. Whatever is the stress, whatever is the fear, the inhibition, the blockage within, you are built in to fend it off, to create flow, and with that come in the mastery of your own brain and your body. And with that comes absolute confidence that you are able to control or be confronted in the future with any kind of stressor. That's the way we are built. This is the way I talk to the people, in love, lovely, like wholehearted, but also very determined. And then I say, okay, are you ready? So let's go and just do this experience.
Okay, so I agree with you. I think, because I'd heard all about you and I was like, oh yeah, I mean, as editor of psychology, you can imagine I hear all of these different things, but I was really intrigued. So I thought, okay, let's just try it rather than just read about it, or let's try it. So I've been doing it and I feel fantastic. I'm at a certain age, a woman of a certain age, hormones all over the place. So, it's made me feel fantastic. So I've been doing 3 rounds of three rounds of breathing of 30 breaths every morning, and then holding a breath. And I've got I could do about 40 seconds to start with, and then I'm now up to 2.5 minutes. So holding my breath for 2.5 minutes. I'm very proud of myself. And then with the cold showers, so I'm having, when someone said cold showers, oh, I can't possibly do that. And I have been doing it. I mean, I can do about a minute now under the cold showers, and that's fantastic. And what I'm seeing is, so I know that you talk a lot in the book about the physiological, how it changes the chemistry of your body, both the breathing and the cold showers. But what also it's helping me with is to be able to realize I'm stronger than I think. So then I had the expression, or the experience of realizing I'm building confidence in, I can do this is possible, and I'm starting to doing other things in my life which I don't normally do. So it's really interesting. So I think you're absolutely right.
I love, of course, what I hear, and I go by the principle of the mammalian principle of the rabbit. The rabbit, one day before it dies, it is still able to flee, fight, and find food. But that is not necessarily the case with humans. Humans get so confused in themselves and so disconnected and conditioned therein, they become weak and weaker and weaker. And we treat people like elders, and then we put them in elder homes, like almost paralyzed. They cannot move anymore. This is not like the mammal we are and should be. So we should be able to to make. Last climb I did on the Kilimanjaro was with the oldest person who had no former experience in climbing. I trained to go up in record time, up Kilimanjaro in shorts, and he had the disease of Lyme. Now, no more. He did it in 31 hours, what normally needs about 5 to 9 days. And only then there is a summiting of 40% fully dressed. This man, 76 years old, suffering from Lyme's disease, did it in 31 hours in shorts. No former experience in mountaineering. I mean, when we get older, we get not only more mature, we get stronger because we are able to use the power of our unlimited mind. But the way we are schooled in this society is completely averse. It's like we are useless. We are like garbage. When you become older, you are no longer part of the production process. And that what is killing, by the way, the planet. The psychology of people thinking that we have to produce, exploit, pollute, become insensitive, more. Yeah, that will exhaust our bodies and our minds. It is nothing, hasn't got nothing to do about the exploration of our consciousness and subconsciousness to become one with the soul, the origin of our purpose. All that is not there. So
you talk in the you talk in the
yes.
book about being unconditionally happy, and I'm very interested in that. We do a lot in the magazine around this idea of, you know, as I say, stopping this cycle of more. I just moved on to a canal boat, you know, just to stop, to get out, to declutter, to, you know, to go onto a new path. And it's this piece around how can we retreat from this cycle of consuming more, and to what you talk about as being unconditionally happy. Where do we start with that?
Yes, it starts all with this breathing, because this breathing technique is able to go past the conditioned breathing reflexes, which is quite shallow, and it's not feeding our chemistry. First of all, we have to change our chemistry. Let's get it the way nature meant it to be, which is flow, which is neurological flow based in alkaline, the right pH in our blood chemistry. And we are able to provide that. We are able to reset our bodies. This is what we do through this activation of the adrenal axis. We have it spike, come back, and that's the reset. It's like the reset button. Now, then you go past, you change your chemistry, you take your cold shower. Your cold shower is training the vascular system, which is the transportation system of the blood flow. The blood flow contains the life force. So when it all is transported nice and good and well, then it's all right. Now, and then we get that we are able to deal with the neurology of ourselves. That is our mindset. That is who we are and what we are. We are built and not schooled in this society. We are built to realize our soul. That's the paradigm, the purpose, the neuroplasticity, the neurological growth of expanding consciousness is neurologically being alive. That is the purpose, alive, being there. It is there. It's not, you can see it. But if we are neurologically conditioned, we get into narrowed consciousness, narrowed perception, narrowed neurology. and that makes us feel limited. It makes us feel we are not able, we are in fear with ourselves, and we can panic about it when we increase in age. Well, we should liberate every time more and more and more and more and more, because we expand our neurology. You could see it in a brain scan. Now, the last brain scans we did in Germany, we showed through these breathing techniques to be able to activate not 16% at will of our brain's capacity and neural activity, but 100%. But then when you are able to do that, bring the right neurological conditions to enter, then you are able to enter with your consciousness, your neurology, your will, into any part of your brain. Find out who you are in the depth of yourself. Find out your soul. Find out, you know, in your depth, what are your tools to expand your consciousness. And you better get onto it, because it's beautiful, because you are beautiful, and your mind is beautiful, and so is everybody's. But that is not the way we were schooled. We were schooled to serve a system. We were schooled to produce. We were schooled to take on positions, to become insensitive, to get into competition. And when once we are 65 years, we get retirement, and then we are treated like garbage. Put the men elder in boxes outside of their society. That is where we got. Now nature has to stop, is stopping all this nonsense. It is nonsense. As long as we are able to get back to sense, and I go to science to get back to sense, then we are able to talk about the most precious purpose and being here every day to be felt and experienced. And that is neurological expansion within our heads, that is flow in our bodies, and that is a connection consciously with any part of our brain and body. Means we got 5 external senses. We have learned to use them: the eyesight, the smell, the taste, the hearing, and the feeling. But we never have been schooled about using the 6th sense, which is leading up to confidence, the ability to go into any spot in our own brain. For God's sake, I'm talking our own brain, or learning how to own our own brain. That's what it's a birthright, but yet we are not schooled therein. We don't know where it is, the 6th sense, confidence, we don't know, but it is neurology. And then 7th sense, the 7th sense is the interior sense of proprioception, which is directly related also to the immune system, the control over the immune system, which is a big issue right now. And in 2014, we have shown how to get there, how to get into the immune system, fend off injected bacteria inside, after thousands who could not, with the same experimental model. Now suddenly people were able to fend off within a quarter of an hour through breathing exercises. That means we change the chemistry inside, and then when the chemistry is changed and the pH levels are right, suddenly we have a much better control over the innate immune system, which is now the damaging factor, for example, of COVID-19. Yesterday I had a serious TV here. I'm explaining it now. And so I go to the doctors and go to the professors with whom I did the comparative studies, because we already have shown that we have a far better control possible than is mentioned within the NIH and the whatever health systems in the world. They talk about masks and they talk about 1.5 meter distance or 2 meters, but it's all not factual. It's not factual. There is something which is not good therein, and it misses out that we have an innate capacity to have a much better control over our immune system, which is the neurological network number 7, the proprioception. And we have shown this already in a comparative study with a group of people within a couple of days being able to elevate their control. So this is the inner sense, the confidence, sixth sense, the ability to go to any spot inside of our brain is the sixth sense. Then you are able to be conscious of things you cannot even see, but you sense them. That's intuition, instinct. Things come from premonitions, and all that is neurology. But we are disconnected because we only bring through the external senses a conditioned brain that receives 25% more blood flow to those extraverted senses and mechanisms inside the brain. The rest is on 25% less blood flow. That means it is on standby. And if you don't learn it, in nature is you don't use it, you lose it. It becomes rudimentary. It becomes on standby, those inner senses. And then you have number 8, that is the interoception. That is top-down regulation from your mind over your body. This was unknown in psychology, in psychiatry, but I've shown this recently in a study, how to activate and to have top-down regulation, conscious control over, say, the body, while it is, for example, being exposed to a deep stress of cold on the skin. I can make, just by using my mind, the skin temperature not going down. And they saw me tapping into the deepest part of the brain, thought of impossible by human, and now it's there. And so mental health, the control, the possible control over emotion, over life, over the to understand what is the soul, because the soul is what emotion is free emotion, is where the emotion is mostly touched into the depth. That is the soul. That control, that connection, we miss out in our daily conditioning, through our daily schooling and the way this society is built. It is destroying the planet, polluting the planet, sodomizing the planet, abusing the planet, and people become insensitive and full of fear. This time, we have to come, give the directions. Hey man, nature equipped us to be happy, strong, and healthy, mentally and physically. And it's all backed up by non-speculative science. So there I am now, talking to you, Suzy, and we are making sense, bringing this to the people, the listeners. You are able to learn to get rid of the signal, the messenger called fear and panic and anxiety, because once you feel the sense of control, then that will subside. It will automatically go away, not by words, by deeds, by feelings inside, because that's the way we are built. It was Descartes, René Descartes, who said, "Je suis parce que je pense." He decapitated us from our body, like our feeling. And he said, because we think we are, but it is because we feel we are. And that should now get to the people. It's
I
there.
think you're saying absolutely right. I think where so much of my own self-development has come from is through the mind, through thinking, through coaching, through therapy. It's really helped me a lot, don't get me wrong. But what I love about your method is you're allowing us to connect physiologically and to go in that way. And what I would say to people listening to this recording now, to this interview, is you don't need to believe it or not believe it. If you're a skeptic, it doesn't matter. Just try it, isn't it? Just try this methodology. That's all you need to do. Try it for a month. Be determined, be disciplined, do it, and just see what happens. And then decide for yourself, because it's not something that needs to be swayed. You have done lots of research with lots of scientists showing it's actually revolutionary what you're talking about, not just for our own health, but as you say, in the way that society is built, in terms of how we define ourselves by being a producer to being a creator, really, on some level or another. But I think what you're doing is incredible and brilliant, and I will support this interview as much as I can, and I want to beam it out to as many people as I possibly can. You're doing a great job, and I just wanted to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for doing all of this. This is absolutely wonderful. So thank you so much for your time today, because I know we've got to finish now. Lots of love.
That's great, Suzy, and you also keep on doing your great work. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Lots of love. Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.